end, we get so anxious about the battles along the way. And it's like, just say yes to the Lord.
Yeah.
He's got a plan. If we get to be part of it, man, it's awesome.
So I think Esther resonates with so many women around the world. My husband and I produced the movie One Night with the King, all about Esther. And I love her life. And a lot of people think that she was just this bold woman.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of think she wasn't. She was this little orphan. She was not from that country. She was disenfranchised. She was kind of hidden,
Right.
especially when she went before King Xerxes. She hid her Jewish roots, and then, of course, she went before the king unsummoned. But what I love about the story is that at first she said, I ain't doing this.
Right.
You know, there's a lot to choose from out there.
Right.
He's got all these women. Why me? He doesn't want to see me. We got in a fight probably the last time we saw each other, and he hasn't summoned me for a good 30 days now. So this is not a good time.
Right.
So we're going to have to at least pray and fast about it. But I love that Mordecai, and I think about this all the time. God has a will.
Yep.
God has his perfect will in all of our lives. He sees you. He sees me. He sees where we are today.
Right.
He knows our heart, and he gives us a choice to be a part of his story.
Yep.
So his will was to save the Jewish people. He's going to save them forever.
Yes.
Right.
So Mordecai says to Esther, you know, God will raise someone up to do this, but why not it be you?
Right.
Why don't you be a part of his story? And a lot of times I think God knew where I am today. God sees the circumstances in front of me today. And it's always a question, do I want to be a part of his story?
Right.
Why not it be you?
Right.
You know, why not you take that step of faith? Why don't you go? And I think it was just, you know, I think fasting and prayer was the time of going, okay,
Right.
God, I do not want to do this. You know, and most of the time, those great steps of faith that we're called just to step out, take some prayer and some fasting and some real face time with God, saying, God, do I have to do this?
Well, Esther is the hero chick for all of us. I mean, the woman stopped a Jewish genocide. How much bolder does it get than that? There is a woman that, you know, in her natural strength, she didn't want to do it. Who would want to go in and talk to the king? And who would want to risk their life for a whole other group of people? And you know what? The fact is that she decided, regardless of whether she wanted to or not in her flesh, she prayed, she fasted, she knew it was what the Lord required from her, and she went and did it. And because of her obedience, she did literally stop a Jewish genocide. Sometimes we don't know what's on the other side of our obedience. Sometimes it's going to help us. Sometimes it's going to help one other person. Other times it could help an entire nation. Your simple yes could make all the difference in the world.
I love the whole bad guy with Haman because it's like an old Western and then a year's worth of spa treatments.
Yeah, we can live in that moment, right?
People are like, the Bible's boring. I'm like, have you read it?
You don't have
This
to
is
watch
incredible.
all those other shows.
And then one of the wrinkles I love, which you alluded to, is at the very beginning when they cast lots, it's referred to as poor when you cast lots. But then when God redeems everything, it inaugurates the Feast of Purim. So it goes from this horrible singular thing that looks like there's going to be a genocide to this fabulous celebration.
Yeah.
And I bet you a nickel, there are Esthers watching now who are reticent, who go, I'm not like Chris Caine. I'm not an Energizer Bunny for Jesus. How could God use somebody like me? And you look at the story of Esther and go, a whole generation was saved.
Yes.
Because one probably shy girl, who knows what she was on the Enneagram, but she, you know, she wasn't a type A, went, okay, Lord, I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah.
Prayed about it, stepped in, and you see this massive miracle.
And the bad guy gets it at the end.
On the gallows. He was, it's really an amazing story of God wins in the end.
Yeah.
He always wins in the end. We get so anxious about the battles along the way, and it's like, just say yes to the Lord.
Yeah.
He's got a plan. If we get to be part of it, man, it's awesome.
But sometimes it could be so scary, if you
Yeah.
will. I mean, even to be sitting here with you all, you such great, women of God. No, really. And if I could be one that could be in the background
Right.
and just run things and help,
Right.
push somebody else. But I think that's what the beauty of this whole story is, even about Mordecai, because here Esther didn't see it in herself, but it was somebody behind her pushing her gently to say,
Right.
no, you could be the one.
Right.
That's why it's, again, like you were talking about before, how it's so important to be in the right circles, to have the right people around you, even though she didn't have a choice, but
Mordecai,
we do choose.
But Mordecai spoke such life over her.
Yes.
So she did have that one person going, God can and will.
And it's okay if it's okay if your first response is not one
Sure,
of like,
right.
I'm going to go, absolutely,
Yeah.
you're right. It, like her first response was fear. Her first response was, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And she still was able to be used. And what I love about the example of Mordecai is all of us, everyone watching, all of us here, we have an opportunity to be the Mordecai, to speak life over someone that changes the trajectory of their life, that gives them that nudge to step into the center of God's will, where they are experiencing miracles that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise, but you're speaking life over them, and just the power of those words that went from, I don't want to do this, I'm not going to do this, to, if I die, I die.
I had to believe in my husband. I had to believe in the prophet of the Lord. I had to believe in what our pastors had said to us and spoken into us, what my mom and dad had said. I had to believe that God called us up there. And I had to believe that with every fiber of my being. It was like, okay, if we die, we die. That was kind of one of those moments. It was, I'm going to pack my 2 little children and my husband, we're going to move up to Hollywood. And it was just that bold obedience, I believe, and God has been so faithful, and He sustained us up there when it just wasn't feasible for that. And I'm telling you, God is faithful when you make steps of faith that you believe in the inside of your core.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.